Have you ever wondered what would happen if the person you trust most with your wealth, the person who quietly works behind the scenes of your daily life, suddenly held the power of your entire fortune in her hands? Stay with me until the end, because this story is not just about money, it's about the kind of love and sacrifice that no price tag could ever measure. If you find this story touching, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel, Stories That Mend, where we bring you tales that heal hearts and inspire souls. Daniel had it all. At only 42, he was one of the youngest self-made millionaires in the city. His days were filled with business meetings, flashy cars, luxury dinners, and the sort of applause that comes only when success screams louder than humility. Yet, when the parties ended and the lights dimmed, Daniel found himself alone. His mansion echoed with silence, a reminder that money could buy him anything, except companionship. The only constant presence in his house was Maria, his maid. She was in her late 40s, gentle in speech, humble in demeanor, and always carrying a softness in her eyes that made people trust her instantly. For nearly 10 years, Maria had taken care of Daniel's home, managing every detail with loyalty that went unnoticed. She worked quietly, never asking for a raise, never complaining even when she looked tired or when her hands trembled from scrubbing floors. One morning, Daniel was scrolling through his overflowing inbox when he noticed Maria struggling with grocery bags heavier than she could carry. Something about the sight tugged at him. Without thinking much, he reached into his wallet and pulled out one of his platinum credit cards. "Maria," he said casually, "why don't you take this card and buy yourself whatever you need? Don't hold back. You've been loyal to me for years, it's the least I can do." Maria froze. She stared at the card as if it were a piece of forbidden treasure. "Sir, this is too much. I don't need." "Take it," Daniel interrupted, almost impatiently. "Just for today. Go on, enjoy yourself." She held the card close to her chest, her eyes glistening, and whispered, "Thank you, sir." Hours passed. Daniel's curiosity grew. He imagined Maria buying herself gold jewelry, expensive clothes, maybe even electronics. After all, wasn't that what anyone would do with unlimited money? He smirked, already predicting the bill. But when Maria returned that evening, she carried just 2 simple shopping bags. She handed the card back to him, her head bowed. "I kept the receipt inside," she said softly. Daniel opened the bags. His heart sank when he saw what was inside. Not jewelry, not designer clothes, not gadgets. Instead, there were children's shoes, second-hand school uniforms, a pile of notebooks, and a pack of colored pencils. Confused and almost irritated, he demanded, "Maria, what is this? I told you to buy something for yourself." Tears welled in her eyes as she struggled to speak. "Sir, these are for my grandchildren. Their parents, my daughter and her husband, they passed away 2 years ago in an accident. Since then, I've been raising the children myself. I never told you because it wasn't your burden to carry. They have been studying without proper uniforms, without books, without shoes. When you gave me this card, I thought maybe, for once, I could give them what they've been praying for. Not luxuries, sir. Just the chance to go to school with dignity." Daniel stood speechless. For the first time in years, he felt his heart ache in a way money had never made it ache before. He sank into a chair, holding the little pair of shoes in his hands. His wealth suddenly felt meaningless compared to Maria's silent sacrifices. That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept replaying her words. Not luxuries, just dignity. The next morning, Daniel made a decision that would change not only Maria's life but also his own. He visited Maria's modest home, where her grandchildren greeted him shyly. The walls were cracked, the furniture was worn, but the space was filled with warmth. Daniel knelt down, looking into the children's eyes, and said, "From today, your education, your books, your future, it's all taken care of. Not as charity, but as a promise." Maria broke down, crying silently, her hands folded in gratitude. Months passed, and something unexpected happened. Daniel, who once lived in loneliness, now found himself drawn to Maria's home every weekend. He helped the children with homework, attended their school events, and shared meals that were far simpler than what his chefs prepared, but far richer in love. The man who had been surrounded by wealth but starved of warmth now discovered a family he never had. And Maria, who once carried her burden alone, now carried it with someone who finally understood. So what did Maria buy that broke Daniel's heart? Not diamonds, not clothes, not pleasures for herself. She bought dignity for her grandchildren. And in doing so, she showed Daniel a truth far greater than his millions, that the real measure of wealth is not in what we keep for ourselves, but in what we give to others. If this story touched your heart, remember to hit the like button and subscribe to Stories That Mend. Because here, every story we share is meant to heal, to inspire, and to remind you of the beauty of humanity that still exists in this world.